At the beginning of the episode, we see that Han tries once again, and this time he pulls the chair towards himself, in which he succeeds, and takes the jacket to cover Xing. Now that he has straightened her hair, just when he was doing it, Xing holds his hand and, while crying, she begs him not to leave her. She says she will also leave her company, but he should not break up with her. After hearing this, Han refuses, so she loudly starts crying and falls asleep holding his hand. Han just keeps looking at her. Now, as Shaman reaches outside the house, he asks her to return Honey's money, on the pretext of which he adds her on WeChat too. As soon as he goes inside, he sees that Han was sitting uncomfortably on the table and Xing was holding his hand. Now he slowly removes her hand from his, and as soon as he stands up, his feet feel completely dry. Due to this, the poor guy is not able to even walk properly. Then he asks Mang to take care of her and goes away. Next morning, as soon as Shan's eyes open, she comes out of her room where all three of her friends came and were looking at her. Seeing them all together, Xing asks, "What are you guys doing here so early in the morning?" Then they ask, "Do you remember what you did yesterday?" To which she says, "All I remember is that I was sitting outside and having a drink, but I don't remember how I came home." Then Mac tells her, "Yes, I brought you home, and along with me was Lobi. Do you know how upset he was?" Now here, she tells them how yesterday when they were leaving, she got up again and while drinking beer sometimes sang a song and then started dancing. Seeing this, they tried to stop her, but she didn't stop and shouted at them. Mac took the beer from her hand and asked her to stop, but she told him, "You have never shouted at me till now, and now you are shouting." Then she stood on the chair and started singing again. To stop her, Barhan lifted her on his shoulders and went to drop her in her room. Hearing this, she felt very embarrassed. Then they ask her, "What is the matter that you drank so much yesterday?" She tells them sadly, saying that she and Yajin have broken up, and she goes to her room again. Hearing this, at first they do not believe her, but then they decide that from now on they will not talk about Yajin in front of her so that she can come out of all these things. Here, Xing is lying on her bed watching Yi Cheng's licking and crying, thinking how her boyfriend of 4 years suddenly disappeared from her life. At the same time, she gets a message that Hana is releasing her product. They ask her if she has any idea about it, to which she says yes, and then asks to show her the detailed plan before New Year, and also asks her to have breakfast. If not, there will be nothing left in her stomach. She starts her work in high spirits and even goes to the orthopedic hospital to show the proposal for her product. Now, when she is working in the office with her employees, she works very hard day and night and gets busy in her work. Similarly, one day when she was returning from the office, she sees a couple. Seeing them together, she starts remembering the moments spent with Yajan, but she keeps these thoughts to herself. After this, we see Lily and Mang at home planning what to do over the weekend. Mang tells her that Xing is working overtime due to the investors filing. Lily says that it's good, the busier she stays, the more she will miss the plan. Mang also supports her for this and says that now her company is also on track and Han supports her a lot. The next day, when Han is in the office, he gets a suspicious message that there was a problem in his first proposal. He will need to solve it quickly and give a briefing, to which he agrees. Then his assistant comes to him and tells him that Xing has been waiting for so long. She hasn't been given a briefing on what's going on inside the company, so should I call her here to tell you? But Han refuses, being too happy. On the other hand, Shuji goes to meet Yazin because she has a meeting at the hospital where she asks him to take care of her. Yi Jung also says that he knows Xing is very strong and will call me soon, but I need some time. So Shuji tells her to focus on her work, and because he had to consult her for something, he takes her to his office. On the other hand, Xiao and Han were talking after seeing the proposal of Hanai's products, where Xiao says that Nai is investing so much now. This will put a lot of pressure on Mr. Chang's company, and your cousin will also use it. If I had known earlier, I would not have allowed you to invest in his company. But Han says that he did not invest lightly, he has faith in Juzing. He then leaves for his meeting. When Han comes to his office for the meeting, his assistant comes to him and tells him that he is too deviant to be scolded in front of everyone. All the executives support him, but Han bluntly tells him that they only look out for their own interests. Then the assistant tells him that Xingqian will also have to speed up his work and show some development, otherwise he will have to bear all this stress alone. Han asks if he has ever had a breakup and how long it takes to come out of it. He says 1 to 2 months, but all this does not affect my work. Then Han gets a suspicious message that the annual report is ready, and when she comes to meet him, Han calls her to meet him at 6:30 in the evening, to which she agrees. Seeing this, he is very happy and says it seems that so much time doesn't seem to be enough to recover from the breakup. After hearing this, the assistant also goes back to work. Now Han is waiting for her in his office when Xing comes there. Han says that finally, you have come. I thought you didn't want your own company anymore. Xing, a little embarrassed, says that it should not be less than 45 kg, otherwise he will have to think about whether he will give his next payment or not. Xing says that this is also a requirement of the investor. Han again gives a sarcastic remark, and then she shows the annual year proposal to Xing. Han says that it is too late, so let's have dinner together, but Xing says that she has some work. Seeing her leaving, Han starts wondering whether she has forgotten Yajan or not. Then we see Sean, who as soon as she comes to her house, her mom is there, and she has prepared many dishes for her. She is keeping it on the table when Shanky comes and says, "You did not tell us anything about your breakup, nor that you have started your own company. You are bearing all the hardships alone, and that is why from now on, please tell us everything." Shin smiles and says yes, and then both of them have dinner. Now, while Shin was brushing her teeth, Yushan calls her saying that he is coming to meet her in her company tomorrow. He proposes that there are comments written on it for her to discuss, to which Shin says yes. And as soon as she hangs up, Jang Di comes there, bringing some of her favorite midnight snacks for her, and asks her how she liked the furniture at home. Ayan says that her taste is always good. Jang also sees Ching Chan's proposal here, and while eating snacks, she tells him that Robot Base Phase 2 will be good, but for this, she needs Dr. He's help. He gives the remaining soup to Shava to drink, upon seeing which Shava says, "You are making him work on weekends. Do you think that Shin will feel that you care for him?" But he doesn't say anything and takes the soup. He goes straight to Shin's office where Shin's mom is there, and seeing her looking for the keys, he asks who she is, and she tells him that she is Shin's mom. But mom mistakes him for her brother-in-law. She then takes him inside with her, where she tells him that Shin said that because of the investor she has to work even today and should take care of her health. Hearing this, he just says, yes. Now she gives him strawberries to wash, and as soon as he opens the tap, he gets completely wet because it was spoiled, so mom gives him the cardigan to wear that she had brought for Shu. Han did not want to wear it, but on her insistence, he wears it. By the time Shin arrives, Han had fixed the tap. She is surprised to see him and calls him by Han's name. Mom also gets shocked after hearing this because she was thinking of him as her brother-in-law for so long and asks why he didn't tell her that he is Han. Shin replies, "Mom, you must not have given him a chance to tell." Now Han comments on the written proposal and is about to leave, but his mother asks him to have lunch with her. When she insists, he agrees. While having lunch, his mother says, "You are such a big boss. You must not have time to eat with your parents." He says sadly that his parents died a long time ago. Here, Shin was very happy eating the dish brought by him, and she used to smile like this. Mom was noticing that she was not able to see him. She adds him on WeChat and invites him to come to her house, saying that whatever food he wants, she will cook it. Then she is here praising Shin and talking about her childhood photo, saying how naughty and stupid she was. She also shows him Shin's childhood photo, seeing which Shin was laughing a lot, and Shin also laughed and asked her not to show it to her mom. When they finish their work, Han comes to drop them home. Mom goes inside and Shin and Han talk to each other. Shin says, "I didn't know you even know how to fix a tap." He replies that he has lived alone abroad for so many years, so he knows everything. Then the one who was wearing his cardigan says he will wash it and return it. Hearing this, Shin starts laughing and says goodbye to Han, leaves. After this, we see people who, after seeing one of Shin's posts, say that she has not applied too much filter and message her on WeChat. "You don't look like this in real life," but Mang had deleted his contact, so his messages do not reach her. Seeing this, he says that someone has deleted him and thinks of taking revenge. He falls down from the chair while eating snacks. Meanwhile, Shin was sitting with her mom eating food, and her mom tells her that problems come in life and many people also come into our lives. They come only for some time. If she is not paying much attention to such things, mom tells her that soon she will meet someone who will stay with her for a lifetime. Laughing, Shin says that if she doesn't find him, she will do it herself, and both start talking. Here we see Han looking at the photo of his parents and remembering how they died when he was very young, making him very sad. He then puts their photo inside a book. Here we see Xing, who gets an offer to advertise an electric bike, which she accepts. The next day, Xing is going to leave her mom. Since she was going back, she asks him to come to her house for the spring festival and asks Han to say goodbye on her behalf, and also says that she is very mature for her age. "You must have endured all the hardships, right? You also invite her to our house." Xing starts laughing after hearing that mom was talking too much about Han. Whereas when Mac reaches to do the advertisement, she finds Lou there in reality. He had recommended her for an advertisement, due to which now he has to add her again on WeChat, and whenever she texts him, he deletes her. Seeing such actions, she calls him a weirdo, but he says that I wanted to make you feel how it feels after deleting someone's comment, and goes away. Then the manager comes there, after which she does her live stream where the manager is very happy with her work and gives her an electric bike, due to which she was also very happy. From here we again see Han's assistant, who was talking to him by setting up airbirds. Then Xing comes to him and asks if she can buy a 3D printer from Dang Yan's channel, and tells him that she thought that before hiring employees, she will have to buy a good printer, and can you add me to the group of suppliers for this, but she will not talk about this. He asks her to talk to Han, but she says no, why do we need to tell her about this thing, you can also get this work done, right? Hearing this, Han asks the assistant to put the phone on speaker, to which the assistant says yes. Then Xing thinks that she has agreed to his request and is very happy, but suddenly Han's voice comes from the phone, who asks Xing to come to his office. Hearing this, she becomes very embarrassed. She goes there where Han tells her that why didn't you come to me directly, I would have helped you. She says that really Han says that if you give me more stocks at 5 then I will definitely help you, but she refuses. She gives it and says that I will find the printer myself. Saying this, she goes away and Han starts smiling after seeing her. Now she goes out and calls Lily and asks her to find a printer for her. Then Lily says yes. She is currently having lunch with Xiao when she sees a post about her on the internet that she tried to ruin a family and is a mistress, but she does not pay much attention to this and speaks to Xiao. She says that she is currently comfortable with him in such a relationship. She does not want to be dependent on each other, so Xiao also agrees with her. Meanwhile, when Xing comes home, Meng happily tells her that because of that Lu, she has got an electric bike and they will go out on it. She also tells that from tomorrow she is going to give part-time vocal lessons in her friend's music center, and the next day she will be teaching piano inside a piano shop. While playing, she was singing a song very well, and after hearing her voice, a lady comes there who is very impressed with her. Then she asks her if she wants to buy a piano, but the lady says that she wants a teacher and you sing very well. Hearing which, Meng gets happy and asks how many older children she has to teach music. Then she tells Meng that they have to learn, hearing which Meng becomes very happy. From here we now see Xing, who, when in the office, was working inside when she sees all the posts on the internet about Jeez and Lily and tells Xing about them. Seeing this, Xing calls Lily to ask her if she is okay, but she says that she does not care about all this, and she also tells that she has talked to a printer supplier and tomorrow we will go to meet him, hearing which she becomes very happy and feels relieved. She also tells brother-in-law that Lily is very chill, so he should not worry about her. Then brother-in-law tells her that Lily's job was lost because of us, so should we hire her with us? On this, she says that our company is too small for her, so brother-in-law tells her that our company is not small, but we have the support of Dang Yang Medical, so Xing starts thinking about it. Next day, these people go inside the factory to see the printer. After seeing many sets of printers, they tell the manager that they have to buy a printer. On hearing this, he says that the printer will be delivered in 6 months. Hearing this, Shen asks him to deliver it quickly, but he tells her that all the printers they have are already booked, so they can't give one to her. From here, we see Zhang Dako meeting Mr. Chang, who is taking great care of her. Zhang tells him that she needs help with the project and requires the support of primary hospitals for this, but lacks the resources. She asks if he can help her with this, to which he agrees. He also asks if she has an agreement with Dang Gang Medical, to which she says yes. Mr. Chang says that before Han's arrival, their relations were very good and he shared all his resources with her. But after Han's arrival, she does not need him as much anymore. She responds that there is nothing like that and that she called him there to discuss this. When Lily and Shin are going, Xing says let's go to Yang Yang and tell him that Betty Technologies will not be able to give us the printer. Hearing this, he is shocked and asks which company. Lily says that there is only one company in China and they are investing in their company. After hearing this, the manager makes them sit there and goes to talk to his boss. While waiting, Lily starts saying that Han's name is very useful. Then Lily gets a message from Mr. Rabu, who apologizes to her and tells her that he has removed all the posts from the internet, which were actually done by Xiao. Sina comes back to Mr. Chang and says to Zhou that she appreciates his strong sense of purpose but feels he is angry right now, which can often lead people to burn their own bridges. She asks if Han cares for him as much as he cares for Han. Zhang responds that Han is the biggest investor in her company, so she must be obsessed with him. Mr. Betty then receives a call asking about Xing. The manager informs Xing that their printer will be delivered soon, thanks to someone's advice. Just then, Xing receives a call, and goes to talk. Meanwhile, Lily asks the manager if they can get a discount, but he refuses. Lily starts saying that yes, he is Xing's classmate, and when he heard she was starting a company, he directly invested in her company, so this should be kept a secret. When Xing returns, unaware of this conversation, the salesperson agrees to give them a 5% discount and tells them that Mr. Lin has invited them for lunch, which makes them happy. As they were leaving, Xing receives a message from Han asking about the printer. Xing tells him that she has arranged for it but doesn't reveal how, saying it is a secret. She then receives a call from a Jay, inviting her to lunch to discuss something. After which we see Mang at the house of a lady named Miss. Mang is here helping her put flowers in her voice. She also tells them about her live streaming competition and Mr. Liu, hearing which she says that you really have to work so hard. Then Mang starts saying that Liu is bad luck for her. Jamie San says listening to that boy reminded me of my own son. Because of his father's early death, I have raised him alone and he has become completely spoiled. He never listens to me. From here now we see Shen and Lily. We see Mr. Li, who had already arrived for lunch with Mr. Li, where Shen asks Lily to join his company, and Lily says that if any problem arises in the future, then I will not spoil our friendship. But Shen says that nothing like this will happen. Then Lily says that then I will think about it and tell her. Then Mr. Li comes there. Now they have lunch together, where Mr. Li says that I heard that you and Han are very close. But Shen says no, we are just classmates. He says that Mr. Han has invested in your company, so your future is very bright. Saying all this, he favors Shen. He asks if she can introduce him to Han for cooperation, which Shen is shocked to hear, and we see that in the same side room, Na had come here with Jiang, who was listening to all their conversation. Mr. He says to Mr. Ling that this is a small task for you, so please help us, and they will not tell anyone about his and Han's relationship, hearing which the smile disappears because she is thinking of something else. They were here, and she looks at Lily while Jiang hears this and says to Han that Shen was just a technical person in my company, but now look how smart she has become, that now she has learned to use you too. Hearing this, Han says that you have brought me here deliberately, right? Shen is about to refuse those people here, but Lily stops her and talks to them herself. Shen feels very uncomfortable here. This was happening, so she goes from there on the pretext of going to the washroom, where she sees Han in the side room, and immediately runs to the washroom, and Han also notices her. Now, as soon as Shen comes out of the washroom, Han sees her outside. While he was waiting, he takes her aside to talk and asks her whether she has bought a printer, where she tells him yes with an upset heart. He asks if she got help in my name and says, "How did you feel about cheating people with my name? I thought you were a hard-working person who is very good at your work, but you are very smart and you don't need any teacher." Hearing this, Shen says that I had just said that we are schoolmates, which we are in real, but they misunderstood where her condition was such that she was about to cry, so Han tells her that don't you think that you haven't given him some wrong idea? He now comes closer to her and says that what do you think about our relationship? He thinks that we have an affair, so let me make this thing true now. Saying this, he comes close to Shen to kiss her, but she turns her face to the side and starts crying. Then Han looks at her and says that I just made a little joke with you here, so how do you feel bad? I thought that when other people talk like this about you, will you be able to face all this? He forbids her from taking such shortcuts and says that the price of shortcuts is very high and you will not be able to afford it. He goes away saying this. As soon as he leaves from there, Shen starts crying. From here, now we see Mang leaving from Misan's house. After leaving from there, Liu comes there. Actually, he was Misan's son. From here, we then see Han. Let's look inside the Tun shop, where he was sitting with enthusiasm, but he was not saying anything. His food had also become completely cold, which he had heated thrice. Shringa Karar tells him that if you don't want to, don't eat food. I have come so late to meet you. Do you know how angry my princess was? On the other hand, remembering Shihan's words, she texts Mislin and tells that there is no relationship between her and Han, and that she apologizes to him for not being able to help him for any cooperation with Dang Yan, while Han tells Sha that Shen took advantage of his name. Hearing which, Sha says that you are worried about him. Han says that Shen doesn't know how quickly rumors spread in our circle, and doing so would make all his efforts go waste. Shao says that look, you were worried about him, but because Shao had to go, he leaves. Han and Shen are left alone here while Shen gets a call from Mr. Lin, who tells her that Han's assistant told us after lunch that after you worked very hard, Han invested in your company, and that too in your company. by giving capability and we misunderstood you, but seeing your honesty, there will be no problem in our cooperation. She will remain like this. After hearing this, she comes to her senses and says thank you to him. Now the next day, Shen was sitting in her office and was thinking something. What message should she write to Han, but he was not able to understand anything, and then Lily comes there and says that from now on she too will work with those people, hearing which Shen is happy and welcomes her, and because Lily had earlier welcomed him, she had given him the money, so she also announces him as the partner of her company. Shen is very happy to see him here and makes him sit at the desk next to him. From here, Shen goes to the rooftop and messages Han that I have learned my lesson. I will never use your name after today. To which Han responds by sending her only a smiley emoji. From here we now see Han bring tea for his grandpa, where he tells him that when I was not in the city I heard about the fight between you and your cousin. Don't spoil Deng Yan's foundation in this matter. He also says that I heard that you have invested in the company of a girl named Ji Sing, who was your schoolmate. Do you like her? To which he says yes. Then Grandpa asks what is your relationship, but he tells that Shink does not know yet that I like her. Grandpa says she is not even your girlfriend yet, you have already invested Rs 20 million in her. She is a very ordinary girl who is surviving only because of your help. And they say that my granddaughter cannot be such a girl. She should know how to handle a lot of hardships which she will not be able to do. But Han says that I am sure about it, but I don't know whether she will bear all this for me or not. After hearing this, Grandpa says that I would have given her 2 years. Han says that if she becomes successful in these 2 years, then it is fine, otherwise I will have to marry the girl whom I tell you. On this, Han says that she will definitely be successful. After hearing this, Grandpa says while leaving that success is not so easy. You think that he will get it because of his amazing knowledge and goes away saying this? After this, we see the scene of Shan's company where Shan calls and talks to the people who had applied in the company. But after seeing his company, no one wants to come there. And after seeing everything, Shink says that we have a bigger problem than this. We will need a lab for printing, and people will also be needed to handle it, due to which we will have to go to the new office. We can't go because we don't have that much budget. So brother-in-law says that we will have to do some job for the lab before the festival, to which Shinha says yes, we will see from our side what we can do from here. Then they see Grandpa, who is making some banners. When he gets a call from his sister, she tells him that Lu told her that she has never seen any girl looking at him like that, and instead of helping them, gave her 2 years. Grandpa says that no ordinary girl can become my grandson's wife. Miss Han says that you have become so old, and what era are you living in? You are still from the background of a girl. Grandpa says that I thought that Zhang Delaware would be perfect for him, but he brought some other girls, so how can I approve? No, here she refuses to be so stubborn. It turns out that your grandson did not get married later. But still, Grandpa says that his decision will not change and hangs up the phone. After this, we see Han, who was sitting in his office looking at the schedule where he was working with his assistant. He says that you know that Shanky is a new company and you have kept a schedule of only half an hour to discuss with him. Then the assistant says that it is okay, I will change it to 1 hour now. But yes, staring at him when he was watching, he said, okay, I will do it for 2 hours. Saying this, he goes away, and Hana happily messages Shin and asks him to come to his office at 3:30 to report. But at the same time, Shin gets a call from Lily that there is a senior of hers who knows Director Lei at Shingang Hospital, so she asks him to go and meet him, to which Shin says yes. Now she tells Jeju before going to meet him that today you will have to go to Mr. Han on behalf of our company for a briefing. Hearing this, the poor guy gets scared and says, don't make such jokes. What should I say if Mr. Han asks about you? And she makes an excuse saying that she is ill and leaves saying this. From here we now see Lily, whom this man has called to meet in the cafe. He asks her about Xing. And Lily says that her company is in a critical period right now, so she is very busy with work. So this Chan here gives her his card and says that it has my year-end bonus, I want to help her a little. Then seeing this, Lily says that I don't understand why you broke up with her. You loved each other so much, or you just like someone else? Eugene says I still like her, but we are too different. I had earlier thought that if I love her more and change for her, then we will be very happy together. But it is not so, so I broke up for the welfare of both of us. Then she asks him to give the card to Shan without telling her name. But Lily refuses him, saying that she will not accept such money. So now Yi-chan has to take his card back and leave from here. While Han was waiting for Xing, as soon as the time comes in here to show himself busy, he sits down with a file, but then his brother-in-law comes in front of him. Seeing him here instead of Xing, his entire laughter disappears. The brother-in-law now introduces himself and shows him the report. Seeing this, Jizhou gives a very tense expression. He was very scared. Now, here he asks him to get the product ready within 3 months, hearing which Jizhou says that they are short of people and he explains the real situation. He tells him that because of the office, no one is coming to work there. After hearing this, he says that okay, Xing is busy because of this and has sent you here. But he refuses and says no. She is ill. That's why she didn't come. But Han doesn't listen to her here, so now brother-in-law has to tell her the truth. She has gone to Qixing Hospital to meet some Director Lai, so Nab sends her from here and goes straight to Xingang Hospital. Here, Xing was also trying to meet the director, but he says he is busy and goes to his room, and Xing was waiting for him outside. Now, yes, as soon as he sees her sitting here, he calls her. She picks up the phone and starts acting normal, but Han comes in front of her and says that it seems you have got a cold, hearing which she gets shocked and asks if there is any incident. But Han tells her that you have come here to meet Li, right? For which she says yes. Then Director Li sees Han and calls him to his office because he wanted to talk to him about something, and Han goes inside saying that Shinko will wait there. From here we now see Lily who, when she comes back inside the office, brother-in-law had brought her pastries and juice, which she starts eating and thanks him for it. Now here she invites him to have dinner with her, asking for a date, but she refuses him on the pretext of work. Now, when Shank sees how he is trying to impress Li, Shank teases her a lot here. She stays inside the hospital for a long time. She was waiting, but then she has to urgently go to the toilet. When Han comes out, Xing is not there, but as soon as the director takes her, she comes there and tells Anne that she had gone to the washroom and now she will see him in the evening. To be ready, he says that he will come to pick her up for dinner, to which she says yes. The scene now comes to Ming, who is teaching singing to Misan. Then Lu comes there where both of them are together. Misan becomes interested after seeing others and tells people that she is her new music teacher who is teaching her to participate in the district music competition next month. Saying this, she introduces her to Lu and Mom, who says that Lu is meeting me after so many days. Now Mom asks Lu to cut fruits for them where he was not going, but after a lot of insistence from Mom, he gets up and leaves. Now he calls his mom in the kitchen with some excuse and he asks them to somehow get manga added on his WeChat. Hearing this, Mom smiles, but Lu says no, don't get it wrong, I don't like him. But Mom doesn't listen to him and comes out. Lu starts smiling. Now, when Sha Mang was leaving, Lu signals her mom and Mom asks Sha Mang to put Lu on WeChat, which Mang is unable to refuse, and now Lu is back to Mac. It gets added on WeChat, for which he thanks his mom. Along with this episode ends here. So guys, this was today's video and I hope you guys like this video. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you again in the next episode of this drama. Till then, goodbye.